All right, guys, we are back. It's K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home, and our special guest today is Dominic Delgado, talking all about creative financing.
Yeah.
And, yes, and I love creative financing because, well, it's creative, and I love creative things. You know,
yes, thinking outside of the box.
Thinking outside of the box. Yes, yes. So what I want to do for the listeners, Dominic, who are out there listening, like, what does this structure of a creative finance deal even look like? So can we break down the step-by-step, assuming we found a seller open to doing, because that's the first part, is obviously there might be a ton of people who want to sell their house, but they want their money today and they're not willing to wait and they don't want to do creative financing. But assuming we found somebody, what's the first thing that the listeners would want to implement?
So first thing is obviously trying to find these motivated people. So there's multiple different ways of doing that. As far as you got notice the default list that you can go after. These are people that are behind on payments if it hits there. I've seen bandit signs that are still out there. People putting signs out on the everywhere. We buy houses or whatever. So you can still. I've gotten people to call me on that. Nowadays you can use social media, Facebook, Instagram, do ads on there for those people that are online a lot to attract them to call you about selling. So really you need them to contact you. You need to find them or be proactive about looking for those. So let's say you approach somebody. The reason why you're going to know that they are a candidate for seller financing or creative financing, they'll have a motivating factor, and that's something you're going to have to determine. So one is being able to figure out what are the motivation factors. Again, I'll name a few. Are they behind on payments? Number one. Are they relocating and they need to sell soon?
Right.
Have they already sold and they have 2 house payments going on right now?
Yeah.
Is there property deferred maintenance and they just can't handle it anymore? Maybe the roof is leaking now and it's gotten to the point where it's no longer, livable.
Yeah.
It could be that they have bad financing, and like back in the days when there was adjustable rates or something coming up.
Right.
So there's those type of situations where they're motivated in that sense, and there's other factors of motivation as well. But once you find that, then the next step is you got to do due diligence, just like any deal. You got to be able to figure out, okay, what's the property's value right now? What is it worth in this condition? You can contact a realtor to help you pull comparables, or comps is what we call it. If you don't have access to the MLS, the multiple listing service, you can go on to Redfin and also get an idea of what houses have listed for versus what they've sold, because they got little filters that you can do with Redfin. Either way, you need to establish what is it worth right now in the as-is condition versus what it could be worth if you were to go in there and possibly fix it up. Now, once you establish, okay, what it is, the part of the other due diligence is, okay, what's the motivating factor for these people?
Yeah.
If they're behind on payments, you need to find out what that is. So, again, you're having a conversation with them. You're going out to the property. You're meeting them. One of the things that I like to do, and I've learned the hard way, is you have to build rapport with people. Time and time again, a lot of people go out there and they just go straight to the numbers. Okay, I'm going to buy your property, seller financing, I'm going to take over your financing, and then when I do that, anything I make, it's going to come to me. I'll give you a little bit now, and then you're done, and then I'll sell it later on. And you get too technical and you give them terms and stuff, they freeze up because you're the professional in their eyes.
Yeah.
And so with me, I like to go out there and I want to build rapport.
Yeah.
So when I go out to the property, and this is a tip for anybody listening, when you go out there, you're kind of wearing a couple hats. One, you're observing what the condition looks like. But mainly you're there to establish rapport.
Yeah.
Like I went to go look at a house in Sandy. It's a family member who passed away and dad moved in with them. It didn't go through probate. Probate's another way of someone being motivated. They inherited a house, now they've gone through probate process, they want to sell it. But these ladies, they're selling their parents' house. So I had to connect with them on a level of understanding, empathy. I did have a parent who passed away, so I could empathize with them. What the process is like, moving mom's stuff out of the house, going through everything, everything from that they had to go through, I empathize with them. But building rapport is going to be that main step to connect. The better you are at building rapport, the likelier they're going to deal with you because they like and trust you, and therefore they may do business with you. One of my mentors used to say, you want to get them to the point where they're going to adopt you. You want to spend the time like it's your mom or dad, or your uncle or aunt or your best friend, that you're sitting there And when I'm building rapport, I go into what's been going on with them. I want to find out, hey, what have you tried, Yoshi?
Right.
You know, have you thought about listing the property? I know it's for sale by owner. Have you thought about listing it?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to try to save some money on commissions right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you thought about maybe keeping it as a rental?
Yeah.
We thought about it, but we don't want to deal with the headaches of management. What about paying a property manager? No, 10% is too much for me. We rather just sell it and be done. Okay, well, does anybody of the family want to buy the property themselves? Has anybody said, hey, I want a rental, and I'll buy you guys out? No, we all just want the money to be able to go. You know, so I go down these avenues with them to make sure, to check it off, to make sure that they've gone through that.
Right.
And if it's an option for them, I'm going to provide it to them regardless. Because my idea is, if I have an opportunity to help you, I'm going to help you in either way. If there's a better option than me buying it or an investor, then you do that option. It's good karma. Now, if these other options are not viable for those reasons, then I'm going to provide my option. So I do that. Once I provide go through that process, I like to spend at least a couple hours there at the property. If I'm there long enough, there's a good possibility that they're going to say, yes, let's just go ahead and do this now. And so I'll come with an agreement. Usually, so when you're doing self-financing, what it really is you're initially putting it under contract, right? To say that you're going to buy the property. Here's my intent on buying it. I'm either going to give you money or a title company money or consideration or a trade, like we talked about, a vehicle or whatever their need is. In my agreement, hey, I'm going to pay $20,000 up front for you to use for your kids' college. The rest of the $100,000 we'll pay it over time or whatever that is. Whatever we negotiate. So once I put it under contract, then I'm out doing the rest of my due diligence. I try to hear the rest of their story and what other challenges there is. Now that I've been to the property, there might be some things that need to be fixed. I need to get contractors out there to find out what's underlying. I might want to get a home inspection based on what I've learned over these years. Get the sewer line scoped so that way, you know, different things. Maybe test for meth. So I'm still doing due diligence through this process to figure out, okay, is this a sound deal, number one? Number two, is there any hidden factors that I need to be aware of that I need to, one, I'm going to be taking on, because if you think about it, that's their challenge, their problem. Once I give them the green light and give them what they need, they're going to give me that challenge and that problem. And as an investor, I better know what I'm going to be doing with these other challenges. So I'll go through that process and do my due diligence. If I find major problems with it, guess what I'm doing? I'm going back to them. If I can't handle it myself, or it's going to hit into my budget of me being able to help them but still make a profit, if it's going to put me negative, then we need to come up with a different solution. And I'm going to put it back in their situation, in their spot, and say, hey, here's what the actual problem is right now. And what do you think? And I let them kind of come up with some ideas, and then I'll share some stuff as well.